Here we have 9.4 Part B, which includes our vertical and horizontal translation. And in this, it gets a little more challenging, especially with that horizontal translation, because it kind of throws everything off on our scale. I'll go through it with you guys, and then again, of course, ask questions if you have any in class, okay? All right, here we go. Graphing y equals a sine b times the quantity of x minus h, h being our horizontal shift, plus k, k being our vertical shift. Same thing with cosine. Alright, so we have steps. It says identify the amplitude a, the period 2 pi over b, the horizontal shift h, and the vertical shift k of the graph. I'm also going to include our scale and range in that. Then we're going to draw the horizontal line y equals k, that vertical shift. Okay, so if we do a vertical shift, that changes our midline. Really, what it really does is changes like where our points intersect. Then we have 5 points, which is really the cycle, right? That whole cycle. And then we make sure we graph that full cycle. And again, I'd like you to go a couple more points than that. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to start with a. Again, a equals the absolute value of 2, which is 2. Period is your 2 pi over b, absolute value b. It's 2 pi over 4. That's pi over 2. Okay. Next, I'm looking at my horizontal, and that's 0. There is no horizontal. K, my vertical shift is 3. Okay, my scale. My scale is p over 4. So in this case, I have this pi over 2 all divided by 4. There is a shortcut here. I can multiply that 2 times 4. Really, it's pi over 8. Copy dot flip as well works. And then also our range. And this changes because I have that vertical shift up or down, right? So what I'm going to do is basically do the same thing, except I'm going to add the k in there. So it's negative 2 plus, oops, just plus 3 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 2 plus 3. Okay, so that changes this range now is 1 less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this graph going. And again, how I do it is I'm going to, I have no negatives, so I'm going to kind of go low here. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Between 5 and 1 is our range. 3 is the k, or the midline, and that's a big one. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a different color here to do a couple more things. I'm going to dash my range. I'm going to put a solid line on my midline. And I'm going to dash to 1. Okay, so those 3 green lines are where my points are going to consist. Okay, so with this, let's go ahead and look at our scale. And that's 1/8. And because it's 1/8, it does include pi over 2. Okay, so that's good. And I can go ahead and use this scale. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. It may change, especially when you have a horizontal. But this one's only vertical, so it doesn't really change. So I get pi over 8. Multiply that by 2. I get pi over 4. Multiply that by 3. I get 3 pi over 8. Multiply that by 4, I get pi over 2. And that's my period, right? So that's where my cycle is going to end. Multiply that by 5, I get 5 pi over 8. Multiply that by 6, I get 3 pi over 4. Okay, and I'll put negative pi over 8 on this side as well. Okay, so now I basically have everything ready as far as graphing. I look at sine, and again, we have a shortcut for sine, right? And sine's always going to start in the middle. So sine starts right there at the 0, 3. Okay, I know I showed you the start before and how to do that. You can do that. But since I'm not moving left or right, it makes it really easy to start right there. If I move right and left, then I do have to move that point. Okay, next, it's positive. And I know we haven't talked about the reflection yet, and we will in this set of notes. But since it's positive, it means I'm going up. So I go up there, come back here, go down right here to my next point, and there's the cycle, right? And where it starts, it ends, and that's perfect. I go back up, and then back down, and then I'll also go down here. What I'm going to do is make a nice curved line to connect these points, or try anyway. Okay, and there we go. There's our graph of G. You can name it G if you want. Alright, and that is our graph. So, I know it's not asking for it, but let's go ahead and just talk about the transformation here. So, that 2 right there, again, is a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. Spell that wrong. Horizontal shrink by a factor of 1/4. And then that 3 right there is a vertical shift 3 units up. Okay, and that covers everything. If you could go ahead and flip it up and try number 6, I'm going to show you the answer here. So pause, take your time, work through it. Here we go. Okay. Take a look there, pause if you need more time. I'm going to move on to number 7. Alright, this time we have a horizontal translation, and this one's going to be a little more challenging, but let's go ahead and start the exact same way. Okay, so A is 5, P is my 2 pi over B, and my B is 1/2. So copy that, flip, that's going to give me 4 pi. Okay, my H in this case is 3 pi, so shift 3 pi units to the right. No K in this one, no vertical shift. My scale is going to be my P over 4. So it's 4 pi over 4, so I get pi. And that's really a good one and nice one to start with. And then my range, take my up. And I go -5 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 5. Okay, so there's everything I need. I'm going to go ahead and make another graph here. range, positive, negative 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scale is at pi, and that includes this cycle, so that works perfectly. So I'm going to say pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, that's the period, 5 pi, 6 pi, 7 pi. Okay, so here we are shifting 3 pi to the right. So that's my starting point. So I'm even going to make another line right here. And that's where I'm going to start. Okay, so I'm not starting on my y-axis anymore. And then if I look here, if 3y is, this is my start, right? Where's my finish? Well, it's going to be this cycle. So it's going to be the start, right? The 3 pi plus the cycle, which is the 4 pi. So that's going to equal 7 pi. So I should be ending this cycle right here on the 7 pi. Okay. Another way, again, you can always go about it, is plugging this in. So if I have the start, I have x equaling 3 pi, plug it in. I have y equals 5 times cosine of 1/2, and then 3 pi minus 3 pi, and that's 5 cosine 1/2 of 0. That's 5 cosine 0. What's cosine of 0? Well, again, it's 1 if you look at the unit circle. And that's 5, right? So my ordered pair would be 5. I'm sorry, it should be 3 pi 5. 3 pi 5 right there. That's where I'm starting. And I knew that because cosine, I'm always starting on the top or bottom, positive on top. Okay, I didn't make my dash lines, but I'm a little off, and I think it's okay. Then I'm going to come down here, so 1 all the way down here, 2, 3, and then right here 7 pi 5. There is my cycle. I'm going to continue it this way. You can see I get a little off. That's why I put those dash lines. They help me. Okay, and then we make our line. So it goes our curve. Wavelength type deal. Alright, and there we go. We end at that 7 pi. There's our cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And that's basically everything we need on that one. And again, these ones get a little tough when we're moving right or left. It kind of throws things off. So that was a nice one to start with. I do have a vertical stretch by a factor of 5. Horizontal stretch by a factor of 2 with that 1/2, and a horizontal shift 3 pi units right.